When I'm not YouTubing or singing or writing, I'm a teacher. And though I haven't had many years of teaching experience, one thing I have noticed about the education system in the West, one terrible flaw that it has, is that it ingrains in all of us the notion that failure is the worst possible thing in the world ever. Day in and day out, it's reinforced to us that failing at our studies or at our exams is the single most sinful or terrible thing a person could do. And no, this video isn't me suggesting that you should actively try not to excel in your exams or in any pursuit that you have in life, but instead, this video is me challenging the stigma that's created around failure in general. Success is obviously the preferred outcome to failure, stigma or not. We all want to be successful, to succeed in whatever we pursue or undertake, but what we're not told from a young age is that success is relatively rare and hard to find as we begin to grow and explore life's innumerable possibilities. Of course, our everyday lives are filled with little successes. Take today, for example. You have successfully managed to navigate on your phone or laptop to this video, and you're watching it. Well done. Equally, most days of your life, you don't step out in front of a bus. You are successful at avoiding being flattened by a bus, and we are all successful at adding to the high score of most consecutive days lived in our own lives. And that's pretty impressive. But when we're talking about the big successes, the successes in our personal life or our work life, that's when it starts to get a little bit more complicated. That's a harder nut to crack. And going back to my previous point about exams, for most of us, the exams we have at school are a cakewalk by comparison to trying to find success in real life, especially for those of us who are looking for a creative job or career. Budding artists, actors, musicians, dancers, writers, we all know too well just how slim the chance of success is when we're vying for victory in those particular fields. And the problem is that so many of us are incredibly hard on ourselves when we do come across failure, which is almost inevitable, really. And the problem for many of us is that coming fresh out of college or university, it's very unlikely that we've experienced any big failures in our lives at all. I mean, we've all had little failures. You may have lost the hot girl or ran over a penguin on your driving test or something. But monumental failure, that's a stranger to so many of us for such a long time. And then we hit the world of work and of pursuing a career. And at that point, when faced with declined job applications or a missed casting call or 14th place in a poetry competition, we face failure for the first time in a real way, and we have absolutely no idea how to deal with it. For many of us, we also carry around the weight of other people's expectations. Our loved ones, our families and friends may have us pinned as the next Picasso, or the next J.K. Rowling, or the next Brad Pitt. So when we don't get that art scholarship, or that book deal, or that leading role, we're not only crushed beneath the burden of feeling a failure to ourselves, but feeling a failure to other people as well. If you're still here watching this, then I'm guessing you can relate in some way to what I'm saying, that maybe you've felt this fever of failure at some point in your life too. And that can be a really lonely feeling. Trust me when I say that you are not alone in feeling that way, and that pretty much everybody out there has been feeling that sense of failure at some point or another. After all, there just aren't enough trophies for the amount of people that want to hold them up. But those stacked odds shouldn't be a reason for us to give up or to not even try in the first place. Our failures shouldn't discourage us, but quite the opposite. Because our teachers, Mrs. Manslagface or whoever, totally painted failure with the wrong paintbrush. And here's why. The real message teachers should be giving, the one that I try to give to my students, is that failure is only bad if you allow yourself to fail. If you don't try at all, or if you don't try to do your best. Because there's no way you're going to succeed if you're sat on your fat ass doing nothing, just hoping that the wealth or the fame or the security will come to you. That isn't how the world works. There is hard work to be had, tough times ahead, mountains to move. And even then, after all of that, you may still fail. But the difference this time is that within that failure, you can learn a little bit. Whether that's about yourself, about the profession that you're trying to pursue, or about the idea or concept that you're looking into. Every failure, big or small, offers us a lesson that we should listen to. Let me give you an example. You could try to jump across a river and then land in it. You could go home and cry about it, or you could think, maybe I didn't run fast enough or jump hard enough, or maybe this river is too goddamn wide to jump across. Or another example, you enter a photography contest and you don't even place. You could sell your camera on Spock and then post a passive aggressive tweet about it on Twitter, or you could look at the winner's photography, consider what they did differently or what it is about their photography that was missing from yours. And you could also take on board the fact that you've now had that extra experience of taking the photographs for that contest and work on expanding and improving that in the future. There are always two ways of looking at failure. You either conclude you're a total loser, or you remember that nobody is an expert at anything the first 1,000 times they try it. Oh, and if you've just decided that you're a total loser, you're not, because no one has to be. My boy Winston Churchill famously said, "Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm." And that's the point I'm getting at here. Without failure, we wouldn't have the technology, the science, or the art that we do now. And although knowing that fact doesn't always heal the hurt of a big time failure, know this, all of the most successful people in the world were failures at one point or another. They just got really good at realizing that failure isn't the wind that knocks you off the ladder, it's every single rung that carries you until you reach the top. And the reason I'm making this video is because, as many of you will know if you watch this channel or follow me on any other social media, I've been going through a really rough time this year. My band that I've been with for 8 years has decided to call it a day, and after almost a decade of putting my heart and soul and time and hard work into trying to become a successful singer, the castle that I've helped to build is coming crumbling down around me. And honestly, for the best part of this year, I have felt like a complete and utter failure to myself and to the fans that believed in the band. But I realised something the other day. In one way, yes, I have failed. I have failed to push my band to stardom. But in so many more ways, ways that I could have never imagined, I have succeeded tremendously. Our music has made it across the globe. We've had national radio and television play. We've met thousands of wonderful people and helped countless more with our music and our message. And I've had the best 8 years anybody could ever wish for. I don't regret anything. There is no regret. A little bit of sadness, of course, but regret? No, not at all. And after coming to terms with all of that, I realised that our teachers shouldn't tell us that failure is something to be ashamed of. We all fail. I have failed, but I can walk away from that failure with my head held high because I didn't fail through a lack of trying. I gave 100%. I gave my best. And there is no harm in failing if that's how you're going to do it. If you give your passion, your love, everything you can muster, and that doesn't happen to be good enough, there is no shame in that. You should be proud, not disheartened. Hold your head high, because although today may not have been your day, maybe that river really was too wide for you to jump across. There will be other rivers. All you have to do is make sure that you're still jumping when you find the next one. I love you guys. Oh, you're still here? Well, seeing as you are, I could do with your help in jumping this next river of mine. You see, I'm trying this YouTube malarkey, and I could do with as many likes, comments and subscribers as I can get. So if you did like this video, hit the like button. If you want to stick around and see some more videos, click or tap up there and that'll subscribe you to the channel. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear some of your success stories, so drop those down there for me, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.